Okay, we ready? All right. Yes, my name is Jerry Bradley. I'm calling, we don't call anymore. Uh, Coming to you from Statesboro, Georgia. This is my wonderful podcast booth. And yes, I do have all these wonderful things going on in my life. And none of it would be possible if it wasn't for my recovery and my Savior, Jesus Christ, for saving my life and giving me a second chance on life. I was a alcoholic for 26 years. I drank almost a half gallon of vodka a day. And that was usually between the hours of 4 and 9 because I never drank at work usually. Uh, and I had a wet brain and I almost died. I was in a hospital, and it took a huge event like it does for most of us to get sober. I passed out in front of my son, had an episode, my youngest son, and it was very traumatic for him. And the next morning, I admitted I was an alcoholic and was in rehab a couple days later. But the thing about rehab and alcoholism and recovery, it's so much more than just doing the acts. It's the aftercare that I truly believe in what saves me, and why I can have a good day today. Yesterday I had a terrible day. I had to yell and scream and kick butt at a restaurant, and that's not what I like to do. And it makes my depression bad. And I am clinically depressed, and I do take a lot of medication for it, and that's okay. It helps, and it gets me through the day. But it's the aftercare once you get out of rehab and you're trying to find your way in life and stuff that's so important. And that's my cause, angels, anchors, and stuff that I'll get into later. But like everybody, when you're trying to find your path in life after changing a way of living, and being mentally healthy, because we are sick as addicts. um, I really didn't know what I was doing. And I have what I call survivor's remorse. I think it's pretty normal for addicts to go through a very foggy mental state after about 3 months of sobriety. And you're trying to find out why you were saved, why you are here, why God chose you, or whoever your higher power is. This might be God, obviously mine is God. Why you were saved. And I struggled with that really, really bad. And that's where my mental health kicked in. Um, it wasn't just going to meetings. It wasn't just sponsors. It wasn't just the book and this and that. It took therapy, a lot of it. I'm still in therapy to this day, 2 years later. And I love it. Every Friday morning, I go Friday morning, and I go see the same lady uh, that was in the rehab facility I was in, and she went into this private business, and I followed her, and it's the highlight of my week. And she can make me laugh, cry, really angry, or whatever. She knows how to push the buttons. But it's that mental health part that keeps me going, and why I choose to be sober today at 5 o'clock Eastern time, on the East Coast. And uh, you know, every day is a struggle, and we know that as addicts. But people don't understand, if you're not mentally okay with yourself first, you're never going to be okay. And it doesn't matter what form it is. Mine was alcoholism. It can be drugs. It can be eating. It can be gambling. Addiction is addiction. Doesn't matter what you do, and it's all a mental state. And that's where I want to help make a difference in life, and why I feel like I was chosen to, why I was chosen to be saved. I see death every day, and I see miracles every day, and it's heartbreaking and it's warming. So I'm here to try to help as many people as I can. Um, Unfortunately, with the pandemic and stuff, our industry got hit very hard, and our industry's always been bad. I mean, let's be honest. I got into being a chef because of the drugs, alcohol, drugs, sex, and rock and roll. Right, man. That was the party life, the nightlife. Alcohol was readily available. I got into it when I was 15 years old. So, I was getting booze when I was young, pills and drugs and dope. And, we were talking about music earlier. I don't recommend this, but, tripping on acid and listening to Rush, man, it's a good time, right? But it's no way to live. And you will die from that. And that's not living. That's short-term living. Yeah. Yeah, we're showing our age in that one. But yeah, so I created an organization called Angels Acres. And what the foundation will do is we sell special t-shirts and merchandise that are obviously recovery health related. Um, Custom jewelry that I make myself. I have knives that are made, obviously, that I'm going for the low hanging fruit with the chefs. You know, I was like, trying to figure out, oh, I just can't sell t-shirts. I got to sell something else. Well, what can I do? Well, darn, I'm a chef. Maybe I could sell knives to people I know. And I ain't gonna lie, I think they're pretty darn cool. If you ain't checked them out, angelsanchors.com is for sale. You know, we'll get there. But so yeah, so all the proceeds, you know, my wife and I set this up on our own. We paid for everything out of our pocket, even this wonderful podcast booth and my breakfast nook in my house. And you know, we don't want any money for it. The money, we will keep all the proceeds, and the proceeds will go to help people get in to rehab or whatever they need. I already donate our pockets to facilities and treatment facilities, you know, shampoos and toiletries and stuff to these places that need it. I've helped people, you know, get a hotel room for a night or two while there was waiting for a bed to open up at some place. Or, but the real goal, I think the focus is going to be where I feel the biggest impact, because it was for me, is going to be that care afterwards. It costs a lot to go to rehab if you have an addiction problem, or if you need to go to therapy. There's co-pays involved. You know, I was lucky. You know, I was working for the state at the time. My wife still does, and so we had great insurance, but it was still like a $5,000 copay. Now, luckily, we had it. I mean, it was our, you know, our savings, but we had it, and it was worth it to save my life. But you know, not everybody can afford that. You know, just you have insurance and you want to go get help, but you can't afford that copay, and you don't want to sign your life away or your firstborn child away. I might have signed him off, but anyway. But you know, it's that aftercare that really makes the difference in that mental health part. And you don't have to talk about drugs and alcohol. Just go on to a therapist where you can lay it all online, or you know, just have that person to talk to and that outlet. And people don't do that. And I think that's where most of us fail in recovery. So that's where, you know, I hope to make a difference. And our industry's hit hard. 2.6 million, I think, last year. Entered rehab, just chefs. That's not like line. I mean, that's real chefs. That's not line cooks or prep cooks or anything. That's just like, you know, chefs like me. And you know, a lot of us got into this business because of it. But anyway, you know, that's my story. I'm saved. I drank. You know, I'm a drunk, but I'm alive today, and I'm here to try to help others that need it, because it's so important. And a lot of people in recovery like to talk a big game, and they'll say it to your face, or they'll say it at a meeting, or they'll say it online in one of these broadcasts, or they'll say it on my podcast, Anonymous No More, my podcast, we'll plug there. But when they'll say it to your face, when they go out in the community, they don't do these things. And I partner myself with only the people that do it. And there are, if you go, I don't care where you are in this country, in this world. You know, I was just in Disney World last week, and I ended up going, but I found out that Disney World has AA meetings. So you go anywhere in this world, you will find somewhere that people can help you, or you can just talk to. I mentioned I used to work for the state. I used to work for Georgia Southern University. Don't worry, we're a terrible football team. Don't judge. But you know, I would get 19-year-old kids. I pick them off the street on campus, and I would just take them to this place called Freedom Through Recovery, and they just can go in there and sit and talk. And you know, if you don't want to talk about your alcohol, you don't want to talk about your drug use, it's fine. You know, don't live in that tent worrying about your heroin or your fentanyl or this or that. Just come in here and sit down and talk. There's a game room. We'll play some pool. You know, I'm supposed to be doing some cooking classes. I don't know how that's going to go. Trying to teach a bunch of addicts how to cook, you know. But that's my story. I'm going to stick to it. Have it be live today, and I am mentally okay as we speak, and that is not easy to do. And I need others to feel the same way I do, and I hope to help that way any way I can.